Hi and welcome to today's Tone Up in 10. All you're going to need today is your mat and space to lie down onto your back with room to move your legs and arms around you. So find your space, come join me down onto the mat and we'll find our neutral position first of all. So think about lying onto your back and where your low back is making contact with the mat. Pelvis is onto the mat, but we've got a little bit of an arch in the low back so that we're not forcefully pressing the spine into the mat. We just want a little bit of space underneath your back, enough that you'd be able to just pass your hand under your back and be able to wiggle your fingers. And then we'll relax the shoulders down and think about having the knees and the feet hip width apart. Perfect. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to lengthen one leg out nice and straight and breathe in, bring it back in. Breathe out, lengthen that leg out, opposite side, breathe in, draw it back. Here we go, alternating between the legs, working with the breath. Do a nice breath out as you lengthen it away, a breath in as you slide it back. Your choice, whether your foot is in contact with the floor or you're just hovering the foot just above, which will make it a little bit harder and we'll get a little bit more activation through those abdominals. Good, so we're just warming up through the legs. Let's bring the arms in a little bit as well. So as you lengthen one leg out, take the opposite arm back. Breathe in, draw everything back. Breathe out, lengthen it. Breathe in, draw it back. There we go. Lovely, one more on each side. There we go, last one, lengthen out. And let the arms and legs rest back into that neutral position. Good. So we're going to think about switching on through those deep abdominals. So think about either drawing your hips together, pushing the hips apart, or drawing your tummy button down towards the spine. Either way that works for you, just think about switching on those deep abdominals, and we're going to work on floating the legs. So we're going to breathe out, float one leg up to coffee table. Breathe in, pop it back down. Opposite side, breathe out, lift it up. Breathe in, lower it down. Good. So what we're doing is we're making sure the pelvis can stay in a nice neutral position, so we're not rocking and rolling all over the place. Making sure those deep abdominals are switched on just enough to stabilise the pelvis, but we're not working too hard through here. So we're talking about working about 30% of our effort, so you can still talk and not feel like you're concentrating too hard on drawing down with those abdominals. Good. So once the pelvis is nice and steady, what we're going to do is we're going to start to improve or increase the challenge. So we're going to go single leg to coffee table. We're going to lengthen it up towards the ceiling, lower it down towards the floor, lift it all the way back up, bend the knee, place it back down. Opposite side, breath out as we start, bend the knee to coffee table, then lengthen it towards the ceiling, lowering it down so it doesn't touch the ground, it just hovers. Lengthen it all the way back up, coffee table, and place back down. Now, what I want you to watch when you're doing this is what happens through your low back, because if you are quite tight through your legs or you've forgotten to activate through those abdominals, what might happen is once we get to the lowering down, you might start to get a little bit increased arch through your low back, and then when you lift the leg up straight, certainly if those hamstrings are tight, the back will start to collapse down onto the mat. So we want to try and keep your back in exactly the same position the whole way through the exercise. So take your hands, place them under your low back, and we'll continue the exercise with your hands just noticing what's happening through the low back. Good. Lengthen the leg towards the ceiling, lower it down, keep it straight as you lift it back up, bend onto coffee table, place back down. And again, you're still noticing if there's any dropping or rocking and rolling going on through the pelvis. Perfect, good. Now, if you're finding that this is a bit of a challenge and that low back is not quite behaving itself yet, you're going to stay at this level and keep practicing. Thinking about drawing in through those abdominals and keeping that back in that nice neutral position. If you're able to keep a nice stable position, we're going to go for a little bit of an extra challenge. So we're going to go to double legs. So see if we can lift both legs onto coffee table here, still checking with the back, making sure we've got that nice neutral curve through the spine, and we're going to go again. We're going to lengthen one leg towards the ceiling, lower it down. Now it gets a little bit harder because you've got both legs up. Straighten the leg as you bring it back up, lift it, bring it to coffee table, lengthen that leg, lower it down, keep it straight as you bring it back up, coffee table. Here we go, a few more each side. Try If you want to work with the breathing, you're going to breathe out as you lengthen and lower, and breathe in as you bring it back up to coffee table. Breath out, blow that leg away, breathe in, draw it back up. Nice, good. So keep monitoring what's going on with the pelvis, with the low back. Abs should start to be working, possibly feeling a little bit in the hip flexors at the moment. We're going to do one more on each side now. Here we go, first one, lower the leg, lengthen it, draw it back in, last one. Nice. Slowly take the legs down, and you can take yourself into a nice full body stretch just to lengthen out through there. Marvellous. Good, stretch towards the tips of your toes, stretch your heels away. Lovely. Let yourself come back into that nice neutral position. We'll give the low back a little bit of a rest at the moment, and we're going to start to bring up from the other, or work from the upper part of the body. Let's take the hands behind the head. You're going to interlace your fingers and place them behind your head, elbows out nice and wide. We're going to engage the shoulders, so pull your shoulder blades down towards the opposite hip. So I'm pushing my right shoulder blade towards my left hip, my left shoulder blade towards my right hip. Good. And what we're going to do again is draw in a little bit with your abdominals. So we've switched those deep core muscles on. And as we breathe out, we're just going to do a little lift of the head, and then the neck doesn't do any more work. It's coming from the upper part of your back and your chest. You're going to breathe out, you're going to draw up, and breathe in as you lower back down again. Good. Breath out, come up. Breath in, lower down. Lovely. There we go. A few more. Working from the chest through the upper back. Press your shoulder blades down into the mat. If you're experiencing any strain or tension through the neck, and you're working a little bit too hard through there, let the head rest into your hands. Think about your shoulder blades pressing into the mat. And it doesn't matter how far you come up, we just need to make sure that there is no work going through the neck. Good. Abdominals are engaging, ribs are sliding in towards the pelvis as you curl up. Good. Two more. There we go, lovely. Nice little high one to finish. Excellent. Just let your hands relax. Let's go back into a full body stretch if you need to lift out, and we're going to put arms and legs together. Fantastic. So back into neutral position, feet hip width apart. Make sure your feet are not too close to your bottom. And we're going to go with a single leg. So this time, as we peel up through the top, we're going to bring one knee in towards the chest. So we're going to do a breath out and bring one knee in. Breathe in as we lower back down. Good. Alternating the legs and making sure we're working through the abdominals. The ribs are sliding down into the pelvis. The neck is nice and relaxed. Head is just sitting comfortably into the palm of your hands. Here we go. Lovely. Perfect. Keep going. Just got a few more of these. Breath out as you come up. Breath in to lower down. Good. Really working those abdominals. Lovely. One more on each side. Fantastic. The last one. Perfect. Now lengthen yourself out. Have a nice big stretch again. We've got one more set. This time we're going to add a little twist, and we're going to increase the work going on through those abdominals. Now, if you feel you were getting any pain through your back, your chest, or your neck is starting to draw in a little bit, you can leave the neck. Go back to one of the previous exercises, leave the head and neck out, especially if you're new to doing these exercises. Sometimes when we do too much with the neck, we can overwork them. But if neck's feeling good, what we're going to do again is interlace those fingers, elbows out nice and wide again. Now this time, as we breathe out and lift up with one leg, we're going to take the opposite elbow towards the knee that's lifted and rotate as you come back down. Good. Breath out as you lift, come up, do a little twist, take that elbow towards the knee, rotate back and lower down. Good. Breath in to come back down, nice. Good. Abs are working hard. Those outer abdominals are now starting to squeeze, working through the waist muscles. Fantastic. Lovely. Let's do 2 more on each side. Fantastic. Good. Last one each side now. Lovely. Fantastic. Take yourself into a full body stretch. Lengthen your fingers away from you, lengthen your toes away from you. And then very gently bring yourself in to a nice little stretch. Bring your knees to chest and just rock those knees in gently. And then start to circle the knees around one way. Sit. And take the knees around in the other direction. Perfect. Lovely. Feet go down onto the floor. We've finished with just a few little curls through the low back. So we're going to press now. Tilt the hips towards you and press your spine down into the mat. And then roll the hips away and give a nice little arch through your low back. So we're just getting some movement. Roll the hips towards you. Press the spine down. Roll the hips away. Allow the spine to lift off of the mat. There we go. So it might feel a bit stiff and creaky where we've done all that stability work. So it's always nice to put a bit of mobility in at the end. There we go. Last one of those. There we go, roll the hips away. Gently bring yourselves back up to sitting. Awesome stuff, well done. Thank you for joining me again today, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next Tone Up in 10.